Coming up on Network Africa, Nigeria celebrates 59 years of independence. Burundi set to repatriate refugees from Tanzania back home. Plus, Mugabe's family to inherit ZANU-PF properties used by former Zimbabwean leader Robert Mugabe. Hello, happy Independence Day to you. Welcome to the program. I'm Tenyola Shoboale. As Nigeria turns 59 today, President Muhammadu Buhari is calling for a broad-based fight against corruption as well as a change in attitude among Nigerians if the desired change is to be achieved. In his address to the nation that lasted about 25 minutes, the president addressed issues of national security, the economy, infrastructure, the fight against corruption and good governance. He also vowed to deal decisively with hate speech and cyber crimes being perpetrated using social media. Our correspondent, Charles Uruka, reports.
The economy has recovered.
The president begins by reminding Nigerians of the mantra under which his administration was first elected and then re-elected, that of change. But he adds,
this change can only be delivered if we are united in purpose, as individuals and as a nation. We must all remain committed to achieving this positive and enduring change. As I stated 4 years ago, change does not just happen. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust.
Concerning national security, which has become a thorny issue given the numerous security challenges the nation is battling, this is what the president has to say.
The capacity of our armed forces to defend our territorial integrity continues to be enhanced by the acquisition of military hardware as well as continued improvements in the working conditions of our servicemen and women. These initiatives are being complemented by the ongoing recruitment of 10,000 constables into the Nigerian police force. This clearly demonstrates our commitment to arrest the incidents of armed robbery, kidnapping, and other violent crimes across our nation.
He also calls attention to what may be considered an insidious threat to national security.
Our attention is increasingly being focused on cyber crimes and the abuse of technology through hate speech and other divisive material being propagated on social media. Whilst we uphold the constitutional rights of our people to freedom of expression and association, where the purported exercise of these rights infringes on the rights of other citizens or threatens to undermine our national security, we will take firm and decisive action.
The economy takes up a major portion of the president's broadcast. He points to the fact that the non-oil sector has been neglected by previous administrations while relying heavily on the oil sector for revenue.
Learning from the mistakes of the past, this administration is committed to responsibly managing our oil wells endowments. We will continue to prudently save our oil income and invest more in the non-oil job-creating sectors. In this regard, we are significantly increasing investment in critical infrastructure.
President Buhari also explains the goals and objectives of his administration's economic policies, especially as they affect the poor and the vulnerable.
Our ongoing 500 billion naira sufficient intervention program continues to target these vulnerable groups through the homegrown school feeding program, government economic empowerment program, Empower Job Creation Program, loans for traders and artisans, conditional cash transfers to the poorest families, and social housing scheme. To institutionalize these impactful programs, we created the Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, which shall consolidate and build on our achievements to date.
Once again, Nigerians are reminded of the federal government's famed war against corruption, as well as the policies aimed at sustaining and winning the fight.
The P&ID Arbitral Award has underscored the manner in which significant economic damage has been caused by the past activities of a few corrupt and unpatriotic Nigerians. The blight of corruption is fighting back. Nevertheless, this is a battle that we shall see through, and this is a war which we shall win by the grace of God.
The president ends on a note of optimism that Nigeria will emerge from her present challenges stronger and more resilient than ever. But that can only happen if all citizens join hands to entrench good governance, foster economic development, and defend and protect the nation. Charles Aruka, for Channels Television News.
At 59 years, the former vice president and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the last election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is worried that the country is not doing well. Some of Alhaji Abubakar's words read, quote, October 1st, 1960, our nation's founding fathers could never have fathomed that 59 years after birth in the largest black nation on earth, we would be facing a situation where we do not have a free press, our judiciary being under attack, and our youths and activists, who should ordinarily be the future of Nigeria, would be facing the very real threat of arrest and intimidation should they speak out about the state of the nation. End of quote. The statement also said that now is the time for all lovers of Nigeria to take concrete steps to aid the country's progress by not just praying and showing understanding, but also taking democratic action to ensure that the ideals of Nigeria's founding fathers, which is unity and faith, peace and progress, are not set aside. Now, the U.S. President Donald Trump has also congratulated Nigeria on her 59th independence anniversary in a letter delivered by the U.S. mission in Nigeria. President Trump emphasized the strong partnership that exists between the U.S. and Africa and the common goal and expansion of trade and economic relationship. He played up efforts by the partners towards eradicating an insurgency group like the Boko Haram and ISIS in West Africa. President Trump also welcomed Nigeria's effort at diversifying her economy and opening up opportunities for talented, creative and hardworking people to benefit both countries, the African continent and the world, and expressed pleasure at the growing cooperation between Nigeria and the United States.